Before I start to talk about Advent, and here we are in December, we'll just take a little journey back to last week, which was the end of our Thanksgiving season. And I did do the talk last Sunday, and I actually spoke about the discipline of Thanksgiving and being grateful and thanking every moment, whether we interpret it with our human perspectives, negative or positive. It's always to be thanked, because it's always an opportunity to be challenged. And it's always an opportunity to remember the tools that we have. Just like in the meditation, we have incredible tools through our faith that we can use, and one of those are Thanksgiving. And last week, I defined it as thanking God for cultivating a discipline of gratitude. And what I meant by discipline, as I spoke last week, was that it wasn't just waiting to be thankful, but actually looking for it in our life, looking for every single opportunity that we have. Did anybody try writing that journal once or twice last week? Because I did say a lot of times we think that we have to write in our journal like 7 days a week, 365 days. But studies have been even shown that even if you do it twice a week, it can be really, really powerful. So yay, I'm glad that you did that. So here we are today, starting out our season of Advent. All right. And this year, what we're going to do is we're going to use a booklet from Unity Worldwide, and it's really wonderful, and you can actually go online and get a PDF of this booklet. But we're breaking it up. It breaks it up into 4 weeks, and so we're going to be doing the Advent. The Advent season is the 4 Sundays before Christmas. It is a celebration opportunity for us to prepare spiritually for the birth of Christ within ourselves. Here at Unity, we don't necessarily take circumstances of the birth of Christ literally, but we look at it metaphysically. We look at it as Christ being born within us, that our spiritual nature gets once again being birthed. I think that we are constantly having to rebirth our Christ nature because we're always dealing with the frailties and the challenges of our human self. So we have to constantly be aware of that. And I think that's why we're here at Unity, to do so. But during this time, our opportunity to have our spiritual awareness is even more heightened because of Advent. So we take that opportunity. It serves as the reminder to us that our spiritual power always begins from within. And when we take the time to answer the call of Spirit, answer the call of Spirit. I mean, you coming right here, sitting right here, supporting the community as you're doing right here, right now, you're answering the call of Spirit. And you're saying, no matter what's going on out there, no matter what is happening to my house, no matter what is going on, I'm going to answer the call of Spirit and come together today at Unity. By doing this, we become capable of sharing divine love with our world. Just as Mary journeyed to Bethlehem to give birth to Jesus, we must go on the journey of our own as we prepare for the birth of Christ once again, the Christ light that holds within us. So, in this Christmas season, in this Advent season, we invite you to embrace the theme this year of the Advent season, and that theme is World of Hope. We also are doing the sub-themes of faith, peace, love, and joy. And we will be having a speaker. I'm doing faith today, and next week, Bill Warner will do peace. And then Melissa know, then it will be Ron, our other LUT will do love, and Melissa will be joy for the 4th week. And one of the things that I really wanted to share with you too, which is kind of wondrous in itself, but this year I noticed in our booklet is we have the opening article by someone that many of us know. And it's The World of Hope by Reverend Mark Fuss. And yes, and our own Reverend Mark Fuss has been pretty amazing. You know, he's been up at Unity Village now for many, many years, and he has also served in many different roles up there. He also was a senior minister at Unity Spiritual Center in Springfield, Missouri, and currently Reverend Mark is Unity World Headquarters Outreach and Events Coordinator. How cool is that? He gets to take these wonderful trips around the world, and he speaks of one as his opening article, and it moved me, and because we know Reverend Fuss, and I know he's been there for meets from time to time. Whenever I go up to the village, I always make an effort to see him and speak with him and get inspired by him. So this is what he wrote in regard to the world of hope, the theme for this year's Advent season. And Mark says, Reverend Mark, earlier this year, as spring made itself known, I had the joy of traveling with a small group of pilgrims to Assisi, Italy. Staying in a Franciscan convent, we walked daily the narrow and hilly streets of Assisi, following in the footsteps of St. Francis. The echoes of deep faith, selfless service, and abundant love were evident at every turn centuries after Francis walked the earth. One morning, we gathered in the tiny Pilgrim's Chapel. Sister Monica came to speak to our group. After sharing about the work the Franciscans do in the world, she paused for a moment. We live in uncertain times, she said, a world where people are hurting, the poor go hungry, and endless challenges arise. Competition is the order of the day. We too are in competition, but a competition of love and forgiveness. Who can love more? Who can forgive more? Who are here to bring a world of hope? Time seemed to stand still as we all breathed in the sacredness of the moment and the truths she had shared. A competition of love, forgiveness, bringing a world of hope. During this Advent season, we too can be part of a competition. With themes of faith, peace, love, and joy, we ask of all of you, and I put this in, who can grow in faith more? Who can share more peace? Who can love more? Who can bring more joy? Together, we can bring a world of hope. Merry Christmas from our Reverend Mark Fuss to everybody in Unity, but I know he has a special heart for Unity of Panama City. And so we get to the sub-theme that I am speaking about today for a moment in time and what this service has been focusing in, and that's faith. And one of the things that always occurs to me, and even the Daily Word had the word duality, and I know for some that can go, what? And you kind of scratch your head, right? But I think the way that has always been clear for me is when it has a uppercase letter, you know, like faith, F-A-I-T-H, that is about my spiritual self. That is the root. That is the default. That is where and who I am, is when I am, and when we talk about faith, love, peace, and joy. You know, when it is the lowercase, it really is coming from more kind of a judgmental place, kind of more from human reactions. We have the faith from our human self, but we really don't, because it can change at any given point. When we dig deep in and connect to the faith within with the uppercase F, that is unshakable. That does not change. It is done, and it is always there. So when you face a challenging situation in your life, you might tell yourself you need more faith. See, this is that kind of human trickery that we do to ourselves. Like we say, oh, if only I had more faith, I'd come to Unity every Sunday. Instead of, what? You have the faith. This isn't true. You already have the faith there. Faith is already in your consciousness. It is already there, as is the omnipresence of Spirit is there. And of course, faith is one of our 12 powers. Faith patiently waits within you, ready to be set free. And it can only be set free by who? You can answer. Who does it get set free by? By you, by you, by you, by all of you, by myself. I set my faith free. And believe it or not, sometimes we don't set. It's when we doubt. The doubt, when you're doubting or you're saying, I can't, you're doubting your faith. And check that out. Be aware of it. Be aware of your thoughts so that you know you can access the faith that you need. Held within you, faith cannot do any of the work it is designed to do. Stepping out in faith is not a result of acquiring more faith, but in the act of releasing the faith. So it's not that you have it or you don't have it. You have it. You have all of these 12 powers in you. You have all the spiritual belief and power within you. It's your choice to work with it. It's your choice to release it, to have the faith. Now all of a sudden that takes a little bit of a different meaning. To have the faith that is within you. It can never be depleted. Ever. Ever. It can, however, be bound within you through the fear of stepping out. You can push it down because of your fear of whatever you're handling. Now, even the simplest thing of, oh, that darn adjuster won't get back with me. Believe it or not, that's acting out of fear instead of saying, he will get back with me. I have the faith. You take a deep breath. You call him every day, and you know that he will call you back. Mine hasn't called me back yet, but he will call me back this week. He will. It's already done. I have the faith. And we don't even realize the sabotage we do or the lack of stepping out. And faith is kind of that, faith isn't first in 12 powers for anything. Faith is that building block that allows you to understand and connect and use all the other 12 powers. So faith, it starts with faith. Remember that. The success that comes from stepping out in faith, the first time emboldens you to step out with increasing frequency. Over time, it's like I told you last week about the discipline of Thanksgiving. It's like you have to exercise it. You have to consciously say, or in your prayers and in your meditations, allow my faith to come up within me, to guide me, to know that I can believe anything and I can do anything because I have the faith of my divine within inside me and I can do it. Can you say, I can do it, right? I believe. I believe. Whatever you believe, remember to say, I believe. Because you say, oh, you tell your next door neighbor, or you tell your friend, oh, I believe it. But do you believe? And do you nourish that? Do you water that faith? Do you water your beliefs through your readings, through your practice, through your classes, through coming here? All of that is watering and supporting your faith. So there's this verse, which is really amazing. It's kind of been my mantra this week. But as we walk by faith and not by sight. And that to me right there tells you the duality, right? Right there it shows you the difference between your spiritual self and your human self. Because your human self always wants to see it, to touch it, you know, and if you don't, for some of us, if we don't have that, it's like, I have to, you know, instead of having the faith, to just walk that faith in spirit, in Buddha nature, in God, to be able to just walk it and believe it and have faith. Reverend Sandra Campbell has the affirmation, I walk in faith, fully aware and always believing. I'm going to say it again and see if we can say it together. I walk in faith, fully aware and always believing. Ready? I walk in faith, fully aware and always believing. One more time, as Melissa, I loved it when she said, with zeal, using one of our powers. Go, girl. Okay. Again, I walk in faith, fully aware and always believing. We need to be clear on what we believe. We need to know, then we don't have to doubt. And if you don't, then resources are there to help you figure it out. And just remember that. Once we decide where we are going and how we will travel, we exercise our faith one step at a time. We can't rush and run. It takes one step. All of these principles take one step at a time. Faith is the belief in things we do not see. To walk by faith is to live in the confident expectation of things to come. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Can you remember of times when you've gone down a path or you've gone somewhere and you don't really see the corner? You don't know how to go around, but you take the faith and you say, I'm going to be okay. And you go around the corner. And isn't that like life? When you think, oh, I can't do this, or you go into the unknown, or you move, or a new job. And quite often, most of the time, it ends up being an incredible experience, or at the least a really good learning possibilities and opportunities. In the story of the three wise men, they set out on their journey based solely on faith. Solely on faith. Nothing in this ancient tale mentions a road map, an atlas, or a global positioning system, GPS. They had none of that. Just the Star of David and the faith in their heart and the faith in their being within to guide them. From all accounts, they trusted their instincts and believed the guidance they had received on high with the brightest star in the sky. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of the Unity Movement, defined faith as a deeper inner knowing that which is sought is already. It's there. That deeper inner knowing, it's there. Get out of its way. Breathe, pray, and meditate because it's there. whatever moment you need, it's there. And then, of course, Myrtle, I mean, if any affirmation has impacted me in my journey in unity, if anything hasn't helped me personally, is Myrtle's affirmation that really started unity on its path and started the prayer ministry. And that's when she affirms, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. To me, I do not inherit sickness, that's your denial. Now, when I use this, and I use this frequently, I add disease and pain to it. Or I might leave out sickness and just say disease and pain because I had a chronic pain issue for 9 years, which I no longer have. I know, thank you. I know, since I had my knee redone last December, it really has been a miracle. And so these affirmations and denials work. I can stand up here. I didn't mean to be doing a testimony right here and now, but hey, it's true. And that's why this particular affirmation rings to me. This reasoning defied all human logic. I mean, she had tuberculosis. Her family had died from it. She was going to die from it. And she didn't. She cured herself 100%. And it flew in the face of the grim medical diagnosis she had been given. But through her belief in the unlimited potential of the Spirit of God within, Myrtle truly walked by faith and not by sight. We walk by faith and not by sight. So, I'm going to skip to the last slide, and I'm going to sum it up. Yeah. Look at that. Is that amazing or what? Do you do that? How many do that? How many have done that? How many have that? Yes, I believe you. How many? Yes, I believe you too, Brian. How many would like to do that? No. But you could consider doing that within, right? You could consider. And that's what I put out to you today, that when we embrace our true spiritual self, when we default to our spiritual faith and not our human being consciousness that limits us and puts us in fear and lots of other stuff. When we have the ability to continue in developing our practice, then we begin to be able to leap more and more into the faith of the God within. And I thank you today. Namaste.